Chill out! Let's shred, Sharky!
Check this out! I got you covered!
Let's look at the basics of combat in Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is a very action-oriented game, so you will be moving your character around a lot and you will be very active during battles. You will have to take the environment into account as you play, and avoid obstacles as you take into consideration the individual playstyle of each character that you are using for your team. But all characters have certain aspects in common. Those are their basic control. Characters will have a normal attack, most of which will be able to do a kind of combination attack if you press the button multiple times in quick succession. They will also have a charged attack, which is basically performed by holding down the attack button for a few seconds, and it does a more powerful, or in some cases completely different, style of attack. Charged attacks will use stamina, so you will have to be aware of that so that you do not overuse it. There is also a concept called Plunging Attacks, which basically just means using a normal attack when you are up high in the air. These can be more limited use case, but one useful thing you can do with plunging attacks is save your character from taking damage from a high fall. For example, if you happen to find your character falling off a cliff when you did not intend them to.
I'm feeling a little washed out.
You can press the attack button to do a plunging attack and lessen the damage that they will take when they reach the ground. For many characters, the next two aspects that we will discuss will be the most frequently used abilities that they have. All characters have an elemental skill, which is primarily used during combat to provide extra damage, apply elements, or give various benefits to their teammates. Some characters have a variation to their elemental skill that is performed by either tapping the elemental skill button or holding it down for a few seconds.
Shake a hamster!
And finally, the biggest attack in most characters' arsenal is their elemental burst.
Stay right there. Almost. Looks like I went too far.
The elemental burst is closely tied to the energy recharge mechanic, which essentially boils down to the more energy recharge that a character has in their weapon, artifacts, talents, and so on, the more quickly and frequently their energy gauge will refill, which allows them to use their elemental burst attack more often. There is another general concept called Cooldown, or CD for short, as it is often abbreviated in the game, and this simply means that there is a period of time after using an elemental skill or an elemental burst where you will not be able to use it again even if you have a fully recharged energy gauge until the timer runs down to 0. There is some equipment in the game that can mitigate this at times. For example, the Sacrificial weapon set, which can occasionally eliminate the cooldown completely for an elemental skill, but this is a bit uncommon. So it is not something that you will have regularly on most of your characters, unless you equip them with a weapon from that particular set. As you use these different varieties of attacks and abilities that each character has, you will also be maneuvering around the field during combat. So things such as the placement of your character in relation to enemy attacks, or the type of weapon that the character is wielding, can dramatically change the playstyle and your approach to the combat. For example, a character that is wielding a sword is most likely going to be an up-close attacker, so you will need to position your character closer to the enemies in order to deal damage. However, a ranged character, on the other hand, that wields a bow or a catalyst may be able to do damage from further away. As you unlock more characters and progress the story in Genshin Impact, you will gather a variety of different character types with their own unique abilities and playstyles. Be sure to try them all out in combat and see which ones are the most enjoyable for you to use. If you are enjoying these tutorial videos for Genshin Impact, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and check out these recommendations. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.